Today on Kane Stuff, we're going to be talking about my problem with Linux. And now, to get started, I'd just like to say that my operating system is Microsoft Windows. And yeah, let's get into our first part. So here's a little story. Back a couple years ago, a year ago or two, we went to Free Geek in Portland to get a computer for my brother. He had about $100 and he wanted to get a computer. There's a computer there for $100 that he wanted. Now, like, Free Geek is like a used computer, and they pre-install everything with Linux, which, like, I don't understand why they do that. Most of them are gonna come with Windows and already have Windows keys in them, like on their operating system. All I have to do is factory set it. It's gonna be probably much easier than having to install a fresh new distro every time they get a new computer to refurbish. And basically, when we were checking out, like, what are the first things that you can do with your computer? And one was like, yeah, we're gonna install Windows on it and stuff, so I can run all my applications. And then they were like, really? Jeez. Like, Linux is open source and it's all cool, like, you know, it's really supported and stuff. And, like, you know, oh yeah, Microsoft Office, yeah, we have LibreOffice. Which LibreOffice sucks. It really does. Not to, like, offend any of you, but I don't like it at all. It's not a good alternative. Microsoft Office has way more features. And Microsoft Office is probably, like, less kind of buggy, I think. And, yeah, and basically was, like, upselling all this Linux stuff and making it sound like it's great and stuff. And now Linux, it does require a fair bit of computer knowledge and stuff. But then they're all kind of, like, deceiving, like how Windows runs, like, way worse and it'll become basically unusable and stuff. It runs just fine. And, like, for school and stuff, you also don't want to do all this stuff like running wine and everything. You want it to just work. You don't want any of these compatibility issues either. And, like, my problem with Linux are all these people that are, like, supporting it and, like, defending it to, like it's their god. And, like, it's their religion and how it's the most, like, most important thing in the world. Same thing with, like, PC Master Race. Same thing with Apple's the best or Android's the best. Like I'll have a place, but Linux isn't for everyone, and they need to understand it. They need to understand that now everybody in the world wants Linux and will enjoy using it like them. They're just, like, so hardcore about it. They feel like everybody in the world should be running it. Like, yeah, maybe Linux does have less viruses. But you wanna know how you don't get viruses? You use common sense and don't download stuff off the internet willy-nilly. Like, you don't go online and search up free GTA 5. Like, it's ridiculous. You wanna know how you get a virus? You do this. You click download GTA 5 and stuff like that on these little sketchy little websites. And, like, that's really what viruses are about. It's like, it's not really as much as the virus itself. It's like social engineering, trying to get someone to download your virus. Like, I can find a virus anywhere on the world, and it'll work probably. And the only reason that it'll work, mostly, is if the person is stupid enough that they're downloading stuff off the internet and that they don't have an antivirus. And they say with Linux, you're, like, it's immune for all this stuff. It's not. You can still get viruses on it. It's not invincible either, like everyone else is saying. Like, they're ridiculous. They're all, like, they think it's the best operating system in the world. It's not. Nothing is the best operating system in the world. Not everything is perfect. Apple isn't perfect. Android isn't perfect. Nothing in the world is ever going to be perfect. Nothing in the world is ever going to be the best. And it's their opinion, yes, but they need to stop cramming down their own opinion down other people's throat and thinking that it is the facts. It's not. It's an opinion. And I think they need to learn what's the difference between a fact and an opinion. Now, I respect the people that use it and, like, see all the pros and cons about using it and seeing all the why people do and don't use it. I see why people use Macs instead of Windows. I see why people use Linux instead of Windows and stuff like that. And that's the problem with some Linux people, is that they don't understand that. They just think that we're all dumb and, like, we only use the operating system that comes pre-installed with our computer because we're little idiots that don't know anything about computers, and that how we're missing out about on Linux, and how it's so awesome and how anyone can get started. Like, yes, anyone can get started, but I'm not going to be able to run half of my programs on here. Like, I can't run any of my DMR program software. I can't run basically most of these programs, like Garmin Basecamp, Garmin Express, Lego Digital Designer. I think maybe Lego Digital Designer can run on Linux, but I don't know. And then the compatibility issues and everything. Like, yeah, I used Linux before, and it's honestly kind of a pain to get everything working, to get apps that aren't in the package manager. You have to do all the stuff on the command line. You want to know what you do on Windows? You go online. I know this is how you get a virus, but, like, you know, on trusted websites. I go online, I go to Microsoft.com. Here. I go over to what I want. Let's just say, where do I want it? Let's go to our download center. Where is it? And even if it's not here, I'll show you another one. It loads up. You wanna know what? I go over here and go to install Office, and it downloads itself. You wanna know what you have to do on Linux? You have to do this. You open up the terminal and you go like sudo download, and then there's all this link, and that's like needlessly complicated. And again, like, yeah, you can download some stuff, but most of it's on a command line. With Windows, you literally go to the website, you click install, and it's done. To install an application, I don't want to be messing around with your thing. And I guess this is also turning into problems with Linux, I guess, too. But, and yeah, there are open source alternatives to them, but they're not all great. LibreOffice kind of sucks. And, yeah, it's sad that I can't run Office on Linux, like, but that's the way it is. And that's the way, if they can't get it to work right on Linux, then it should just stay on Windows. Because you don't want to have an inferior product on Linux, which is what a lot of other people are doing, is that they're releasing some half-baked things onto Linux and stuff, because they already have it like fully programmed for Windows, but they need to release something for the Linux people. And it kind of sucks. And then the Linux people say, yes, we have a fully functional version of that on our Linux, and then they list all the other awesome things with Linux. And, yeah. And that's also kind of goes for Apple fanboys, too, like with Mac OS, but not as badly as Linux. And yes, I do recognize that there are Windows fanboys in the world that will, like, put themselves in front of a train to defend Microsoft and Windows. Like, there is a place for every operating system, but they need to stop cramming it down people's throats. And that's my problem with Linux. The people, like, not everybody, like, the majority of people are fine. But the few people that think it is the best thing in the whole entire world and treat it like it's like God's status, like it's basically PC Master Race of consoles, that it's the best thing to ever exist. That's my problem. Is that they can't look behind their tinted glasses and see really the problems that make it so people like Windows. The ease of use. Like, Linux isn't that easy to use. Like, yeah, the basic things, like the desktop is easy to use, but once you want to get past any of that, you know, you don't have resources either. Like, yeah, you could go on BlueStacks and everything, but like, it's not what I want to do. I don't want to waste hours of my life on BlueStacks trying to figure out something when everything on Windows is like already kind of basically there on official Microsoft help. So it doesn't like leave me trying to find a resource. I mean, yeah, this is getting kind of long already. But yeah, that's my problem with Linux. And I hope you enjoy this video, and like, if you want to say anything about it in the comments, and I know hopefully there's going to be lots of Linux fanboys telling me how I'm wrong in the comments below. So, yeah. And yes, I have used Linux. I have a Raspberry Pi. This computer came pre-installed with Linux from Free Geek. I changed it out for Windows. And yeah, I know lots of things run on Linux that, so yeah. Anyway, I just hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, and if you have anything to say, just please leave it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.